going to get some
You do. Then they'll reassess it to see, and they may adjust it to see what's going on, to readjust it to accommodate the bus riders. And we're hoping to keep these services in place. We just need to show that this is a necessary. I'd like to take a minute to welcome you all here, and what a great turnout. We're so pleased that you were able to take time out of your busy days to be here. And at this time, I'd like to introduce our esteemed Mayor of Fall River,
Thank you.
Will Flanagan, who took time out of his busy schedule to be here.
Is this a good spot for me to stand? That way I can see everybody and talk to everybody?
Yeah, right.
Good. And when I was invited to be here today, I made sure I had a spot on my schedule because those of you who have worked with me in the past or have spoken to me in the past regarding public transportation, you know how committed I am to making sure that we expand it here in our area. And over the last 2 years as the mayor, I've been working very closely with the ATU and the SRTA board to expand public transportation here in the greater Fall River area. And this year, as the mayor of Fall River, I'm actually the chair of Southeastern Regional Transit Authority. And speaking with Mayor Mitchell, we've come up with an aggressive strategy to hopefully expand service for people in our area. And one of the first fruits of that labor you're going to see is finally the breaking of the ground for our new bus terminal. The new bus terminal. And that's a project that was really stalled before I came into office. And I worked very closely with Attorney Arthur Frank and the SRTA board to get that project moving forward. For those of you who are not familiar with the building, it's located between Borden Street, 4th and 5th Street. And that's going to be a state-of-the-art building. It's going to have a meeting room in it for meetings just like this to occur. It's going to have an opportunity for our buses to go in there in an efficient manner. And it's going to be a lot better than that temporary station that we had to have work out of for the last several years. So that's new construction happening in our city. It's a new building, and it's going to be more welcoming to the passengers who ride SRTA. But that's just bricks and mortar. We have to do what we can to continue to expand service. And I was very pleased to see the announcement from Eric Rousseau, who's the administrator of SRTA, that they're going to be having service on President's Day. And that's important because typically on holidays, it would be difficult for some people to catch a bus. And hopefully that's just the first in the many of announcements that are going to be coming from this board to expand service and make service more efficient in our community. And we have some great ideas that we want to continue to promote, but a lot of them take money. They take finances. And it seems that when Washington, D.C. or our state are looking to make cuts, transportation is always on the cutting block. And I'm one of the vocal opponents against that. I know Paul Schmid is also. And I see our city councilors here today, Ray Mitchell and Mike Miozza. They're against it too. Because let me tell you why we're against cuts to public transportation. First of all, we're doing all we can to expand economic development in our community. For those of you who work on a Saturday or work on a Sunday or work past 6 o'clock, you have difficulty maintaining your job if you don't own a motor vehicle. And you've got to rely upon a bus to get you where you need to go. And I've spoken to too many people who said, Mayor, I was working at the hospital, or I was working at Stop and Shop, or I was working retail, or at a restaurant, and when I get out at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, I have no way to get to work. If I can't carpool with somebody, I'm walking, and I don't want to walk to work because it's too far for me to go, and sometimes I got to get cut from my job. It shouldn't be that way. We shouldn't have to hear stories like that. I also support transportation because of the impacts it has on education. I've spoken to too many people who say, I want to go to UMass-Dartmouth to take a night course or a weekend course. Or I want to go to BCC and take a night or weekend course. but I can't do it because I don't have the transportation to get there. So once again, a cut to transportation would be another barrier erected in front of somebody to stop them from improving the quality of life. And I've talked to many people like you who say, I want to take the bus on the weekend to go see my grandkids, or to go to a movie, or to go shopping at the Walmart or the Stop and Shop or the Shores. But I can't do it because the bus isn't running on the time I need it to run. So all these quality of life issues are issues that affect people just like us. And if transportation is cut or is not expanded, it acts as a barrier from preventing people to improving their quality of life. In a few weeks, we'll have an announcement that we're going to see passenger rail service come back to this area for the first time, I want to say, over 60 years. And we'll be able to take a dinner train and use it for recreational purposes, but it's still not what we need to do for economic purposes. It's great to have it here for entertainment and recreation and give us something to do on the weekend, but it's still not what we need to connect us to the rest of the state. And finally, it comes down to fairness and equity. I can go to Providence and get a train to Boston, but I can't take one out of Fall River or New Bedford. That just doesn't seem right to me. And it seems like we're asking for something we had 60 years ago here in Fall River. But you got a great group of people here today. I'm going to stay for the entire presentation because it's that important to me. And I want to thank CSJ and the coalition and the bus riders for getting together and bringing attention to this most important issue. Thank you for having me. God bless you.
Paul Schmid to come up and say a few words. Paul?
Thank you very much. Thank you. A big thank you to Mary Ellen and Debbie for what you've done to bring us all together. On behalf of your delegation, Representative Dave Sullivan, Representative Kevin Aguiar, and Senator Rodrigues, I want to tell you that we are united on this subject of transportation as we are on everything that we do for Fall River. And we stand firmly behind Mayor Flanagan and the City Council. Transportation is all about jobs. And our number one job is jobs here on the South Coast. And we have to have expanded bus service. Have commuter rail to Boston. Thank you very much to all of you. We appreciate your support. Let's get those buses running. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. We appreciate you taking your time to be here because we know you have a pressing engagement that you have to do.
You know, this isn't the first time that I've come before this group, and the last time was to expand bus service also. And at that time, I put in a resolution with my colleague, Eric Carvalho, who asked me to convey to you that he wished he too could be here, but because of a prior engagement, he could not be here today. But the fact of the matter is, we put that resolution in, and sometimes we get when we look at our city council, it's a diversified group. We don't always agree on everything, but I'll tell you what, on this particular issue, we all agree that the expansion of bus service in our community is vital. It's not only vital, it's vital on so many fronts. It's vital on education. It's vital on jobs. You know, if you're going to bring an economic development program to Fall River, you need public transportation. Tomorrow, next year, even if I no longer run for city council, I'll still be here supporting this. That's how valuable I think this is to this community. And I'm not saying I'm not going to run. I'm just saying if I don't take that the wrong way. But what I'm saying, even if I were not a city councilor, I would be here supporting this because I think it's that valuable to our community. So let's fight on. Let's get those buses rolling. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Mitchell. And at this time, I'd like to call newly elected City Councilor Mike Miozza.
Good afternoon, folks. I want to thank Mary Ellen DeLima for inviting me from CSJ and for the Bus Riders United for having this informational session today. When I think about public transportation, I think you can only have public transportation when it is accessible to the public. It's the only way that it's going to work. So I'm going to beat the same drum that Mayor Flanagan did. When I look at an issue like this, I look at it as how does this benefit the city and how does it benefit the public? And it clearly benefits the city. Just by having expanded service, we can support our local business. We have less vehicles on the road, less damage to our roads. So there's a benefit there. From the public, I look at this takes away, if we don't have expanded bus service, this takes independence away from our seniors. They're not able to go out at night, go shopping at our local stores. You know, they may have to wait for a family member on a weekend to take them out of our city. And so I believe that this is very important to the economic development of our city. Thank you for Bus Riders United for having this informational service session. And as a city council, I will support your efforts. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. At this time, I just want to reiterate that this is a combined effort along with the Coalition for Social Justice. It is CEDC, which stands for Center Economic Development Center in New Bedford, the UMass Labor Education Council, and the Central Labor Council, and also, of course, the ATU. And at this time, I'd like to introduce Eric Carvalho from Fall River ATU.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's great to see such a great turnout. And again, my name is Eric Carvalho. I'm the president, business agent for ATU Local 174. I represent the SRTA bus drivers in Fall River and the maintenance workers. But not only am I the president of the local, I'm also a bus driver. I'm a bus driver now. I've been a bus driver. This is my 14th year. And for those 14 years, I've heard your concerns and heard your desires for a better service. And the guy back there with the camera, that's my vice president, Carl Schaus, and he's also been a bus driver for 20 plus years. And we've all heard the stories out there. Speaking for the ATU, I know we're really proud of what's happening. We're 100% in support of what's going on. And with support like this and the delegation that's here, Mayor Flanagan, he's been a key. SRTA, there's been some changes. You know, you've all read the stories, and I have to say I'm very impressed with what's going on. I think that we're in a good place right now, and with this type of showing, this type of commitment, this type of just these numbers and support, it's overwhelming. It really is, and I think we're in a good spot. Because one thing you have to remember, although we're seeing change here, some good things happening all around us, throughout the country, throughout Massachusetts. You know, I was in Boston just the other day, my friend Jose, my colleague Gary, and Boston's looking at just the opposite. They're looking at a huge debt. They're looking at service cuts, fare increases, layoffs. They're getting hammered up there. So we can't feel too comfortable right now. This is going to be a work in progress. We'll keep on going, and I really feel good about it. I do feel good. Going back to the card campaign experiences and compare a little bit of then to now, and how she feels about things that are about to happen.
Hi everybody, my name is Siggy Meilus. I'm a student at UMass-Dartmouth, and I started working with Bus Riders United over the summer as a community organizer thanks to the ATU and Labor Extension Program. And I'm just going to reiterate everything that's already been said here. Bus service is essential for the development of this part of the state. You know, as a student and a bus rider, I rely on the buses to get around. And there's some classes I can't take because they're at night. there's things I can't do because they're on the weekends, and I have to, get rides from my friends and things like that. We are Bus Riders United. We will make change happen with the help of our city council, with the help of our mayors, with the help of the SRTA board, with the help of the ATU. We as bus riders will be able to make effective change and get the bus service that we need. So thank you.
Victories. As you notice, on Martin Luther King Day, the buses were running. They're going to run on President's Day, Patriots Day, and Memorial Day. SRTA was able to get a federal fund to get these buses going. They will be running on a Saturday schedule. We look at that as hopeful because that's one of the things we were looking for, was to reestablish holiday services. And at this time, I want to take a minute to, which I forgot to do at the beginning, I'd like to thank Cynthia Rodriguez from the United Labor Council for taking time to be here. I'd like to introduce Gary Pires from the ATU New Bedford.
Thank you. As Mary Ellen just said, I'm from down in New Bedford, local 1037 in New Bedford. And even though I'm from New Bedford and drive primarily in New Bedford, I can tell, I see a lot of our customers here. I see the passes hanging around your neck and the IDs, and it's good to see you. It's good to see you come out in such force. Ask us questions, how do we do this, how do we do that, how do we affect change? And unfortunately, we never had a very good answer for you, but we seem to have coalesced, and with a lot of help from UMass-Dartmouth, with CSJ, from the other community groups, and primarily when we started with our organizer, Siggy, riding the buses. We finally got your message out there, and people started to listen, and that's what it's all about. So we're very, very fortunate that, we've got this really great government behind us. They've listened, they've met with us, they've met with you, in effect, and they're doing a great job. They're very concerned. They're listening to what you say, and hopefully we're just going to keep moving forward with this. We do have an action plan, so to speak, for the everybody. Let them know about it, because right now it's just a little blurb in the paper, but hopefully it'll come out bigger and better, and people will start using it some more. The other thing that we'd ask you to do, since we have you here, is that please try to attend the SRTA board coming out. I think it's great that people are showing up. Thank you.
I'll just give an update.
I'd just like to introduce one of the other folks here from SRTA. The General Counsel, Arthur Frank, is here, and he'd have a few words to say to you.
Thank you, Gary. I've been the General Counsel since 1998, and I've had the pleasure to serve, I think now I'm with my fourth mayor, and I can unequivocally say you have the most aggressive transportation mayor that I've ever had the pleasure to work with. He's tasked the SRTA workforce with some very aggressive projects that we're going to get off the board this year. Within the next 3 or 4 weeks, the bid documents will go out to find a contractor to build your new terminal. And if the conditions are right, a year from now, we'll all be standing over on Borden Street with the mayor when he cuts the ribbon.
All right.
It will be state-of-the-art. It will have parking beneath it. It will have comfortable areas for the public. It will have electronic message boards. It will be handicap accessible. It will be everything that you're all entitled to, considering the amount of money that we have and we're given by the federal government and the state government to provide you with your transportation. Commissioned our regional planning authority to look at every single route and to tell us, should we still be driving some routes that have been around since 1947? Or should we be doing more to get seniors to a shopping center or to a medical facility? Should there be more demand response? That's what we're looking at. We're going to have plenty of public input, plenty of public forums, and I hope you all attend, because you're the ridership. You're our customer. And if you don't tell us what you want, we'll things will revert back to the way they were. So you have to take an active role. The third thing that we're very interested in is we're going to be going to a more modernized fare collection system. Anybody who rides the T or the rails in Massachusetts knows about Charlie cards.
We will be going to a Charlie card system. I'll be working with the administrator in the coming months to do the bid documents. The equipment is going to be installed in all the new buses, so you'll be able to go into our new terminal. There'll be a machine there. You can load passages onto your Charlie card. Then you can get onto that bus, and you can take that bus to some other town and maybe get onto a train, and again, use your Charlie card. So we've got a lot of aggressive items that we want to accomplish. The mayor is behind us. He's told us whatever we need, he's there. And we're going to try and use our money more wisely to deliver the services that you're all entitled to. Thank you.
Period. Does anybody have any questions that you'd like to ask?
All right. Hi.